Alright, welcome everybody. Just gonna put a few arena videos together. Wanted to start with the deck I've been playing for going on almost a full year now, playing Mono Red. Deck's looking a little bit different now. I think that Zendikar has certainly helped with one aspect of this deck that really enjoyable for everybody. So there's been a few cards that have been printed that have had its controversies with Lotus Cobra, Omnath, of course. But one thing that most players I'm seeing are not even putting up for debate is the modal cards have just done a drastic help for Standard. It's good for both aggro and control decks. It just gives you the option to, if you're mana flooding, you've got extra cards. If you're mana screwed, you've got these cards that you can play as lands. So normally with your aggro decks, especially with Mono Red, I think for the most part with Mono Red I've been averaging 21 lands in my deck. Because of the way these modal land works, actually running 26, but when you count the modal lands as spells, it's actually 18 lands, so really helps out in that department. And actually, both of these modal lands have been really good, especially Spikefield Hazard. Spikefield has been definitely by far the best of the modal lands. Like, somebody can try to mention some in the comments, but I really don't think it's even close with any of them. I think some of them are good, certainly. Definitely the white pay 3 life land. Trying to think of what it's called. It's definitely one up there, but Spikefield Hazard just hits so many cards in the meta. It's spike damage. I've actually killed people with it, basically lightning bolting people because of Torbrand. But we'll just go through this deck really quick, try to jam in some matches. 10 1-drops. So when I first saw this set, I was actually huge on Charger. And I still think it's good. It's a card I might go up to a playset of at some point. But I wasn't big on the Hellhound, but it's definitely been impressive. I've been playing it consistently as a 2-3 almost every turn. It works really well having all these lands. So just having a 1-mana 2-3 is really good for aggro decks. Still playing Fervent Champion. Really, the first strike is actually the most relevant part of it. Most of the time, you're only going to get one knight because you're only running 8 of them, but definitely works as a good first striker. It's a good aggressive creature still. Fireblade Charger, just one of these creatures that when they die, it deals damage. This one does have some nice synergies with it. If it dies with a cleave on it, does extra damage. You can pump it with Rimrock before it dies to do 3 damage. So, it's not bad. Actually, like I said, I might try to find a way to move it up to a playset, but for right now, just running 10 1-drop seems good. Got a nice solid curve for an aggro deck here. Pretty much the two best 2-drops you can play. Rimrock Knight especially has earned its spot because of Charger. And then Robber of the Rich, of course, is the best 2-drop for Mono Red right now. And then moving on to 3-drops, still playing Annex, just helps when all the creatures die. It keeps you going against board wipes, removal, so on and so forth. Bonecrusher Giant just is a little bit of removal in the main board. For the most part, the meta is still ramp decks, so cards like Bonecrusher Giant aren't that good, although it does kill Lotus Cobra. So there is that. Playing full play sets of the win cons, just trying to end the games as fast as possible. Mana base still consisting of mostly lands, Castle Embreth, just to help try to close the games. Of course, the new one, Spikefield Hazard. To note about this card, if you're not on with this yet, whenever it destroys a creature, you are exiling it, or well, any permanent, but mainly your creatures that you're hitting, you're exiling them, which is extremely important. Especially good when you can hit an opponent casting an Uro. That way they can't pull it out of the graveyard. And then this card. So overall, it's not the most impressive for the spell side, but it is good to have the option just in case. And it does work really well with Torgrim, because you can easily hit it for 4, split the targets, and then Torgrim will add that extra damage to it. Sideboard, red caps just against some creature decks, mostly Gruul, mono red, Embrace Shieldbreaker, just in case your opponent's playing Clover. Clover's pretty much the only deck that's playing a lot of artifacts. If you play against mono green, it's actually really good too, because it provides extra. It's a good way to hit the Great Hinge, which is a way for mono green to get ahead of mono red. And also Stonecoil Serpent is another card it can hit. Rolling Vortex, just good against the decks that gain life. It basically gives you some kind of a fighting chance against Uro decks if the game goes longer. Thundering Rebuke, pretty much just the best removal spell you can have, especially against decks with a lot of creatures. And then Embereth Paladin, just a nice solid haste creature whenever you can take out some Embercleaves because your opponent's going to bring in a lot of removal. Alright, so starting at the bottom of Diamond 4, I was Diamond 3 earlier, but did some testing for some other decks that didn't work out too well. But 5 days left. Let's see if we can get some wins in. Get a little sneak peek at the other deck I'm wanting to make a video for later. So, well, I've got a second. I've got a few more people who have followed me on Twitch since yesterday. Thank you guys very much. I will be thanking them specifically tomorrow whenever I get on Twitch. Just thank you so much for the follows. Definitely, if there's something anybody wants to see, please let me know in comments, Twitter, anything like that. Alright, let's get started. 1 drop, no reason to start with anything else. Again, good part of these modal cards, gonna actually have a land drop next turn. Alright, so this, unfortunately, this is the way Standard works right now. Instead of me playing a 2-drop creature, I've got to deal with this Lotus Cobra. Okay. Alright, so opponent's wrapping. So we're going to see islands. Yep. Okay. Charger. I'm getting a land drop, so Hellhound's not gonna do any damage. There's Uro. Yep. Okay, opponent's not gonna block this Lotus Cobra. So I assume this is going to be a bad turn. Okay. Okay. Gotta let it drop. Assume I have to be aggressive here. Okay, let's see if we can be aggressive on this red rock, right? Okay. Good news is Uro's not coming out anytime soon, so it's just a question of if my opponent has it on now. Take care of Pete. Okay, opponent's getting aggressive. So, let's see. Okay. So this will take out Warden, and I'll make 2 tokens. I feel like I've just given my opponent too many turns here. Oh, okay. There's Uro. So it's cheaper if I do that. So everybody attack. Are there any good blocks at all? Or, let's see. That's the one getting equipped. Don't think there's any good lines here. Huh. And I'm gonna lose. Alright, yeah. Alright. There's Uro. Trying to think of what else would be good to do for that. Alright, definitely want to take out the cards that are slowing the deck down. That seems fine. Not too big on Rebuke here. Mostly just need a faster game than what I had. message. I assume my opponent's deck's just loaded with removal, so that's going to make it difficult on that part. I think just Vortex and spike this Cobra. Alright, so get Torben into play, then Vortex can start doing extra damage. Now we'll go fight Torben, get that extra damage in. This is just, yeah, landfall. Okay. Alright. So at least got game 2. Hopefully we're not looking at just a ton of removal. I'll put one of these Bone Crushers back in instead of that. I shouldn't be afraid of Terror Peaks. I should just assume that I need to win the game before it comes out. Alright, if we got a chance, this is the kind of hand it needs to be. One more Fervent Champion. It's not bad though that if I just play Fervent Champion next turn and have Spike Field up, kind of depends on what my opponent signals here. Alright. Okay, so we've definitely got something. Yeah. Okay. So just swing, hold Spike Field up, for an Uro. Cinder. Feels a little bad that I could have gotten rid of the Uro, but I think I needed to get Annex down. Fight against these removal spells. Opponent's cycling, that's good. Definitely something I can deal with. Play Spike Field tapped. Hold up a Rimrock Knight in case my opponent plays removal. Cultivate's fine. Setting up for a decent looking cleave turn. See if our opponent has anything left. don't think I need to cleave this turn. I think we're just going to put some extra damage into this. Play more creatures and hope to cleave next turn. Okay, opponent cycling. That's a good sign. Gonna get Uro, but in that case I've got Rimrock plus Cleave. So as long as we don't see anything crazy this turn, it shouldn't be that bad. I don't think Cinderclasm is a nightmare. Okay. That's just gonna make a token, that's fine. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Put this on Annex. Pump Annex. Hits through Uro. And that's it. Didn't feel good losing game 1, but fought through it. I assumed I was going to see a lot more removal than I did. Drown in the Lock. That's a good card for them rogue decks. Happy to see Drown in the Lock's getting to see some play. I really liked it whenever it got released with Throne of Eldraine. How this is sitting in a nice middle spot of what I'm going to do with it. Yeah, it's mono green, so we're definitely going to have to stomp the Scoos. Soon we're just going to see opponent cast Lopestroke Beast, then I cast Annex. Yep. Definitely not attacking. My opponent wants to attack with Lopestroke Beast, that's fine. Okay, we're gonna fight. Whew. Being able to attack with a token. And then this time we can pump with Rimrock Knight. Okay. That's gonna be a +4. Oh, okay. Get those extra tokens at least. Okay, so opponents Despite the fact that they had the 2 primal mites, they are drawing a lot. Actually, I might not. Yeah, I'm not. Fuck. Alright, so these are whenever they're targeted, they create tokens. It's unfortunate. Alright, swing out. Okay, if they don't block and they don't have removal, that's 5, 8. Exactly. Yeah, it's exactly lethal if they don't block. Okay, this is fine. Alright. So now it's a question of... Alright, can my opponent attack with this Love Struck Beast? Looks like nope. Okay. Might be able to steal this one. Okay. Alright. So there's nothing wrong with it, in case that doesn't pan out, but I think that's what we need. Cut some of these bigger threats. Not too big on those. Basically just replace those with those, and they should be good. Alright, sounds not great. I feel like we're gonna do better. That's okay. Alright. Okay, hand's looking good now. We see a Scoos here. Get rid of that. I think I'm just gonna pass and see if my opponent. There's Gem Razor. Yep. I think I'd much rather see Gem Razor. See if my opponent will block. Gonna take a lot of damage here. If my opponent has any sort of fight spell, I'm in trouble. Okay. My opponent's getting priority, they must have something. Oh yeah, they have that activation. Never mind. Okay, I really need a land here. NX isn't bad. That didn't do anything. Now you can eat the stone coil. There you go. Basically just don't want to see any removal spells. Most Dark Beast isn't great because it provides a lot of blockers and a big body, but I'm not too afraid of my opponent's board getting out of hand. Okay. This could be really greedy, but I'm hoping my opponent lines up some bad blocks. Could be baiting this out. Okay. I guess I should have done Scoos first. Tokens, okay. The Scoos can get big, but NX should close out the game, especially if I can draw land. Okay, well, that doesn't do much here. Just playing haste creatures that make NX bigger. Okay, so that tells me my opponent does not have a ram through. The fun of mono red, especially or really any aggro decks, you just get so many matches per hour. Okay, it's 2-0. That is how you draw it up. Run in here, get another one. Okay, this is not looking good so far. Okay, keeping this, keep this because it's modal. Okay, really hoping for a one drop here. Interesting. I just assumed Cobra would end the game. Okay, so opponent has something here. Still think I have to be aggressive. I assume Rimrock Knight's gonna get shot up. Land really gives me a shot. Unfortunately, just hit one. Okay, so this is gonna take a land out of my opponent's deck. My opponent did miss the land off the arrow. Great. Okay. Okay, not gonna beat an Elspeth Conquering here. Okay, I think I just want to make this deck as fast as possible. So I'm not big on having a lot of Bone Crusher Giants, putting those two in. Put the Vortexes in instead of some of these. Okay. Kind of just hoping the fact that it's a Yorion deck will play against my opponent. Yorion decks have always felt really good for mono red. Sure. Really hoping to hit a Lotus Cobra off of Robber the Rich. That would be great. Ooh, Glass Casket. Let's go and put another creature into play. I'm not too afraid of an arrow here. Okay, missing land drops. That feels good. Get that. Play a creature. Didn't get anything off of that. Vortex. Alright, that was the hope, is that Yorion was going to mess them up, the deck building structure. Okay, as long as I reasonably hit land drops, that's already good. Starting with the Hellhound first. Cat melee, maybe? Okay, I feel like it's just the Fable Captive trigger. In that case, just play a charger. definitely playing Cleave. What? Okay. Okay. Land drop here, assuming my opponent does not play Wrath, is good. Okay. Cracking that is more than fine. That should be game. Yep. Alright. 2 matches were lost game 1 and then won games 2 and 3. I feel like the only way you should be playing Yorion is if you're playing Orzhov, and even that's not that good. And if you're playing blue-white, you should just be playing a 60 card deck. Yeah, clearly Standard's in a place where ramp is definitely the best. I mean, as long as Uro's around, ramp decks are going to thrive. However, I do think, unlike the past few months, the aggro decks are certainly more viable now. I would lean towards mono green being the best, but I still think I'm going to lean towards mono red. It just fits how I want to play more. I'll probably play mono green on here at some point. Clover's going to be hard to beat on the draw. If we see a Bone Crusher or we see a Stomp here, that's just going to be way too hard to come back from. Especially if I can't get this annex down first. And this is worst case scenario. Worst case scenario, my opponent goes island, mountain. Okay. Guess Brazen Borrower. My opponent goes Brazen Borrower. I'm just conceding here. Okay. Yeah, they had it. I guess they were just figuring out how Brazen Borrower worked. Definitely those two. Not too big on those. Two paladins in just to have some haste for the end game. If Clover shows to be popular, I'll probably bump this up to 3 or 4. But so far it's stayed out of the scene so far. Go ahead and hit Fable Passage. Okay. I want to save this Shield Breaker. Hit a Clover this turn. Don't stomp it. Probably would have played one if they had it. So unless they pop deck a Clover, playing Shieldbreaker here is fine. I just need to hit a land here. Annex wouldn't be bad. So we're going to see our opponent ramp right here. Do you want to play Bone Crusher, guy? I don't think so. I guess if you have to. Okay. Land drop. Beautiful. Yeah, Torben's fine. And you can block either one. Clover is a deck that requires a lot of thinking. If you really don't know how to play with it, it's definitely going to take you a while. I don't recommend Clover to people who don't play Arena 24/7, or you'll have to constantly be making decisions like this. Turbin's good there. Because even if I see a Brazen Borrower here, that makes the options a little bit better. Got the Torbran. Alright, so these aren't going to do anything. So it's just a question of what the opponent has. So unless they draw a Clover this turn. Into the, I was going to say Into the Wild would be fine. Okay, so opponent's yielding to me playing Torbran. Alright, so basically, do you have a way to deal with Torbran? It doesn't seem like it. So we're just going to see up there. This is dealing extra damage. So unless my opponent was clicking through really quickly, that should be... not gain, but opponent at 1 feels good. I do have a lot of things that can just spike damage out. Okay, seemed reasonable. Basically, the key is having a way to hit a Clover early. Okay. These are going to enter tapped. That's a problem. So really need to hit a mountain. Hitting a mountain means that I have 2 lands that enter untapped. Assuming my opponent goes Clover here. Okay. Alright. Got a mountain. Question is, do I want to use it? I think I'm just going to play the Hellhound. clover here would be perfect. Come on. Oh, don't stop it. Alright. Okay. Definitely playing this tap. Perfect. Okay, really need a land drop. Or, I guess cleave isn't bad either. Okay, if they're playing Bone Crusher Giant, I definitely need a land drop. One thing I'm not scared of is a clover. All the other plays my opponent can make are at least somewhat threatening. So it's gonna be another stomp. So stomping edge wall back. Playing chargers. Trying to swing with the stones even though it basically just because it doesn't matter. Okay. Storm's Wrath. Playing around Storm's Wrath pretty much means just get wrath here. Alright, so opponent's gonna Storm's Wrath. That doesn't exile. Yeah, so I get to hit my opponent for one. And then swing with Paladin. Are they gonna go for double creature? Okay. I was wondering. Okay. Yeah, I think I go Paladin. Pressure on, try to get it to where I can win with some spike damage. Spike or another Bone Crusher would win. Charger wouldn't be bad. You've got to deal with the Paladin. Okay, so this is going to be a Bone Crusher to draw a card. Okay. Okay, Spike. That's good. That's 4-0. It would be pretty nice to end this video getting to label it as a 5-0. Yeah, I've got some ideas for some things I'm gonna put together for future YouTube and Twitch streams for Arena. But if there's anything anybody would like to see, just let me know in the comments. I will gladly put together a wide range of decks for everybody. So obviously I prefer playing aggro decks, but definitely up for anything. If for some reason y'all want to see me playing on the side of Omnath, I'll do it. I hate being the villain, but it is what it is. Okay. This is bad. Still tie. Yeah. Well, at least somewhat saved by the modal cards. I feel like this is an easy matchup if you win game 1. I feel like pulling me back-to-back off is going to be hard. Okay.
My skills are aged to perfection.
Yeah, because I'm having to put so many resources into killing Teferi. I think that's going to make it difficult. Spike this Cobra at least. Alright. I mean, it's hard to say for my opponent to brick whenever they're looting. Yep. This is good. Phasing that out. I mean, that was basically 3 damage to Teferi when it was only going to be 2. So why you didn't just cycle there, I don't know. Yeah, that was a mistake. Granted, hard to say you make mistakes whenever you're gonna get Groot.
You cannot run or hide.
Yeah, I'm just not gonna beat a Groot. Not with this slow to start. Okay. I mean, the main deck's just really good. There's not going to be anything that these are going to hit. This is the only thing that I would consider. Well, I guess those are good too. So let's get Bone Crushers down. This down, this down. That's fine. I think it was 2 2-0s, and then if I did this one somehow, it would be 3 matches where I lost game 1. Fervent champion. Okay. Alright, so not killing my... I think Disfigure's still legal? Okay, cycling will. That feels good. Kinda wish I had had an untapped land, but this will work just fine. Do have to be prepared for an extinction event hitting NX, assuming I don't draw a land. Especially now that they hit the 2-drop. Okay. Yeah, just Cobra. Get the extra damage on Fervent, Vortex hits. Not even remotely scared of Uro. This was the easy game. That's the good, that's the scary part of this, is that was the easy game. Being on the play feels so much better. I literally feel like that's a matchup that anytime I'm on the play with a reasonable curve, I'm not going to lose. However, sideboarded game, on the draw, okay, opponent mulliganed. This is really fast. Yeah, I've got 2 1-drops, and I do technically have 2 lands. Okay, opponent mulled to 5. That's a good sign. Gonna lead with the Charger. I feel like that I'm never gonna see the ace side of this. Okay, that makes things interesting. Yeah, I think we're gonna spike the Cobra. Really glad I hit a land there. Okay. How bad do I want my opponent's hand to be? I think we just want to be as aggressive as possible, especially since my opponent does not have any instant speed removal. Pretty decent against the Extinction Event. Especially if my opponent goes Extinction Event even for some reason. If they go odd, it's not bad. I would be okay with double removal here. I think I want to get this Vortex down just to work against an Uro draw. Cycling that feels good. Alright, so now I'm protected against Uro gaining life. Woo! Snuck out of that one. Alright, that was a little lucky there. Alright, so that's a nice little 5-0 with mono red. Make a quick video on the next one. I'll go back, show the deck one more time, and then let you get a teaser for the next deck I'm going to play. Like I said, these lands have definitely helped out a lot. The 1-drops are basically irrelevant. Like, Hellhound feels good until you don't hit a land drop, and then it's just the worst card you could have in your deck.